Okay, I think everything should be back to normal now. Whew. Man, that was you know, as someone who hasn't regularly sang pretty much at all. I mean, I'll go into detail a little bit on like where I get some of my singing from anyway. That is exhausting. I can see why it's an actual profession. Water's good. Anyway, I'm keeping the set list here for posterity, just in case anyone is curious. But yeah, that was fun. I got a lot of mileage out of that. That was really fun. I'm kind of upset with the technical glitch at the very beginning. I don't know why that happened. My whole PC literally just went. I was hoping everything would be fine, but I guess it fucked up. But oh well. It's scuff is part of our nature, you know? Anyway, yeah. To go into a little bit of detail on how this stream came about. I had planned this for, oh man, I'm gonna say a couple months at least. Something like that. I wanted to do this whole March music monstrosity. That's another M word. I want to do this whole thing since probably around January, I think is when the idea conceptualized in my head. And I was thinking to myself, like, I want to play guitar, because that's the instrument that I'm most familiar with. But what else can I do? And I went, what's something that I feel like I can probably tackle and do decent at and not be horrible? Because if I was like, oh, let me play piano, nope. Oh, let me play drum. Nope. Those are also expensive instruments that I don't own. But you get the idea. It's like, gosh, it's very exhausting to like play any instrument that you're not good at. So singing on top of that is like, oh god. But I think I did okay. I'm definitely more apt to pick out the the areas where I struggled rather than the areas where I excelled. As, you know, I'm apt to do, because constantly paying attention to the negatives is just part of performing. But anyway, I had fun. The songs came about just because I was like digging through my Spotify playlist and just kind of, can I sing this? Testing it out, seeing, maybe, and then going back and saying, probably not, maybe, probably not. And just kind of weeding it out from there. It was originally a list much larger than 14. There were a couple songs I had to cut because I just couldn't hit notes. There were a couple songs I had to cut just purely because it didn't sound correct, or there was too much music and not enough singing. I literally cut one song before I started streaming because I checked my voice and it was not up to snuff for that one. Everything else was surprisingly okay, except for the voice cracks. But my voice is not perfect to begin with. So I was trying my best about 100, and I got like a 80-ish. The ones that I did do well, I feel really good about. But the ones that I messed up on, I'm like, oh god, I could have done better. I'm definitely gonna sing some of these again in the future. I don't know when though. This just was part of the month because I wanted to have fun. And you know what? It was fun. It was like a karaoke night out, and that was kind of the purpose. But like to say that I'm not experienced with singing is an understatement. Like, I've had no formal training. No one has taught me how to sing. No one has taught me how to breathe properly. No one has taught me like how to hit notes properly. The only experience, like the only practice I've ever gotten was I used to drive to a part-time job that I had. And it was like 25-30 minutes away. And I was like, you know what? While I'm in my car doing nothing with no one around, let me just belt out some tunes. And at first it was really terrible. But over time I was like, yeah, maybe I can actually like do this if I work on it enough. And it got to a point where I'm amateur at best, I'm gonna be honest. But I can like decently hit stuff. Like, I'm not tone deaf. I'm mostly on key. There's a couple of sharps and flats because moving your voice. If anyone's ever tried to like actually properly sing, it is both a combination of moving your lips around and your tongue, obviously, because that's part of talking. But also like opening and closing your throat and shifting your vocal cords up and down for like glissandos and arpeggios and all. That's music theory. But it's a physical exercise for your vocal cords. So in essence, what you're doing is you're making your vocal cords rapidly change from like one vibration speed to another vibration speed, and constantly pushing air through your throat. So it's tough, and without someone telling you, oh, how do I actually do this? Yeah, it's not easy. It's not the easiest thing in the world. But it's, it's another way to like have fun with music, because listening to music is awesome. Just letting the song or whatever it is overtake you and just enjoy it is awesome. It's absolutely the best experience. I absolutely love music. If someone asked me whether I'd rather go blind or deaf, I would say blind, because I wouldn't be able to live without hearing tunes. But yeah, the point stands of singing along to songs is just another layer of fun. And again, while I'm not great, I have fun with it. I do. And it allows me to enjoy music that I otherwise wouldn't enjoy, because funny thing about singing is you learn what your vocal timbre and vocal range is, and you start looking for songs that you can sing. And the songs that you could sing aren't necessarily the songs that you listen to on a regular basis. And I feel like that has had a hand in, like, expanding my, expanding my, like, my musical, like, my listening aptitude, for lack of a better term. Like, I've listened to more songs because I started singing to songs. Because my specific vocal range is easier for some stuff and harder for others. I've done... what was it? I did a one of those, like, vocal tests, I think it was. Yeah. It's like you check your vocal range. It's totally not... It's like an online IQ test. It is not verifiable. But hey, if you can hit the note, then sure. And when I was younger... Funny, there's one very specific video on YouTube where, like, a ton of people... I think it's got, like, tens of millions of views now, because everyone uses it. But it's like probably the most famous, like, vocal range test video on YouTube. And I remember a long time ago, back when I was really young, I left a comment in the comment section of, like, describing my vocal range, and it was something like, I don't remember, because I was a kid, obviously. It was like E3 to G5 or something crazy, something absolutely insane. But again, I was a kid, and then puberty hit. And when puberty hits, your vocal range resets itself. Because all of a sudden, all that nice, high little kid timbre, dips real hard. And yeah, I after, like, doing it a couple times, because I've come back over the years and checked, my approximate, and this is approximate, because it's not perfect. I can stretch if I have to. I can go down if I have to. For just chest and throat voice, which throat voice is bad, I know. But again, never been trained. Vocal range is roughly, I think it's A2 to A4. So a solid, like, exactly 2 octaves. Which apparently isn't anything to scoff at, but I feel like is slightly underwhelming. I don't know. That puts me pretty confidently in the tenor in a choir, whatever that's worth. Which, yeah, I'm not a baritone. I'm not a bass. I'm not a soprano. So I guess, yeah, tenor is a good spot. And there's a lot of vocalists nowadays, like male vocalists, mind you, in specifically rock music, funnily enough, who are tenors. either naturally or just because their vocal timbre sits in that range. But I don't know. That's just a fun fact about about vocal ranges and such. But yeah, it's funny because I went back to that vocal range test video and saw my old comment from like a decade and a half ago. It's very funny. But it just goes to show how your voice changes over the years. Because when you're younger, it's just naturally higher, and when you're older, it's naturally just a little bit lower. Sometimes it's a lot lower. But most of the time, like, your voice stabilizes, I'd say, around between 16 and 18, depending on the person. And mine was right in that range too. I've sounded practically the same for a long time, I'll tell you that. For better or for worse. My mind has evolved, but my voice has not. Or maybe it has, because I started practicing singing. Anyway. Yeah, this stream was sort of it is a couple things. One, it's me, like, throwing myself to the wolves. Which honestly was fun. In its own backwards way. Second, it's sort of a test to see how I can keep archives of stuff while still, playing music, because all of those backing tracks are 110% copyrighted. The way I have set up is that Twitch should not be saving the instrumentals to the VOD, hopefully. If I screwed that up, I am going to delete the VOD and we'll go from there. But it is recording. It did record everything. So I have the full recording of all the backing tracks and stuff. So that I can go back and verify if I need to. But the VOD should be just a cappella. So I'm going to go back and check that to make sure that it is. And a third thing, it's to test that wonderful karaoke setup, because I'm going to reuse that next week for the guitar stream, which has required quite a bit more prep, and I am still not done with. I'm very close, though. Again, like I said yesterday, I am very busy for a couple of reasons. Again, there is a pretty big announcement that I want to make next week, which is part of why I've been so busy. And to give you some clarity, this stream is sort of foreshadowing for that. But anyway, no, it's not a cover or anything. God, I can't. But yeah, it's sort of a test. It's a test. If this, again, I'll double check everything, because I'm always like making sure that stuff goes well. But if everything went well from start to finish, other than that glitch that happened, which was my whole PC, I don't know why. If everything went well, then I will double check back and make sure that everything went smoothly. You get the idea. Anyway, yeah, that was actually a lot more entertaining than I was really expecting. At first, my stomach did about 7 flips in a row simultaneously, and I felt horrible after my computer glitched. But by like song number, what was it? It was like 4 or 5. I just kind of stopped caring because I was already so far deep. I think it was song 4. Yeah, because that's when I started like probably just enjoying myself. At first, again, it's all a performance, and that's the biggest takeaway from streaming, is it is a performance. It's not just turning on a camera and doing whatever the hell you want. It's a performance. But at the same time, I try not to take myself super seriously for a couple reasons. One is I think I'm a lot worse than I probably am. 2 is being overly professional feels weirdly pretentious when you're just trying to have a good time. And 3, if I take myself too seriously, then what ends up happening is all the mistakes and all the screw-ups and me giggling and laughing at like not doing it properly doubles down and instead of being like, just having fun, it's like, oh, I'm fucking up. Oh, I'm really fucking up. This sucks. Fuck. So I try my best to like, on one hand, I am trying, of course, because if I didn't try, I'd probably sound horrible. Like, even worse. But if I try too hard, then I feel like it just goes the opposite way. I don't know. It's a weird balance because it's one thing that I'm just genuinely not. I'm an amateur, 100%. With guitar, I'm a little better because I've been playing it for much longer. But with singing, to give some like perspective on time frame, I probably only started singing properly like a year ago, maybe even like 8 months ago, that short of a period of time. And not regularly, mind you. Very much not regularly. Just kind of on and off. So the fact that I managed to get through 14 songs while not dying, honestly, that's a testament. At least I have some endurance. But yeah, I definitely need to work on my my upper range. I'm not sure how to go about that, though. It's very tricky. Mainly because I don't know why. I find it far easier to practice something that I'm already decently good at, and I find it much harder to practice something that I'm not good at. I think it's just a sort of barrier to entry, you know, where when you're trying your hardest to practice something that you're not 100% good at, you get this wall of I'm never going to be able to do this, and it sucks. It sucks so bad because you just have to vault over it. That's all you have to do, and it's a pain in the ass because I'm a perfectionist. I've said that probably a couple times. I'm a perfectionist. If I screw up even slightly, it's very hard for me to play it off because I notice it immediately, and I want to go back and fix it. Which is probably why I try so desperately hard to get things as close as possible, which I really don't have to, but yeah. Being a perfectionist, though, sucks because when I'm trying to learn something new, I want to be at least decent right out the gate, and that just never happens. That literally never happens. So I'm stuck, like, sitting and wondering how the hell am I supposed to actually, like, sit down and do this properly when I can't even get past the first, like, minute of trying to practice this shit? So I've learned that the best way to practice, at least for me, is instead of doing repetitions, which the only way you're going to become a master at something is if you do like specific exercises. It's true. You can absolutely become a master just kind of winging it, but it takes far longer and you lose out on a lot of skill. But the way I learn to both enjoy myself and have fun while practicing, regardless of what it is, it can be music, it can be singing, it can even be games, is just kind of like don't focus on exercising as much. Focus on like having fun and doing something that you've already wanted to do with your with the experience that you want to get to, and just continue to do that. So like case in point, you'll see it more next week because that's a it's gonna be a much more interesting stream, methinks, because hey, I can literally just jam on guitar. That's one thing I'm very proud of. But for guitar, for instance, like when I play guitar, I don't practice in the traditional way. I don't go scales up. I don't go what is it? I don't do specific like exercises to limber my fingers up. I just go, I really want to play this song. Plug my guitar in, try my damnedest to play whatever song I heard it was, and just what's it? Just kind of go from there. And honestly, a weird thing happens. when you play a song that you really like a song that you really, really like, over and over and over again, you start getting good at that one song. And over time, you learn techniques from that one song that you can apply to everything else. Same goes for singing. If you learn a specific like arpeggio or even a woo glissando from something, oh hey, now you've learned that specific technique, even though it's in that one song. Let's see if it can carry over to something else. And like, it's such an abstract way of playing, but I enjoy it so much. And honestly, it takes away the sort of the baggage that like practicing has. Because okay, practicing is important. If you play an instrument, practicing is important. It is super important, because you're not going to get good if you just kind of are content with just doing the same thing over and over and over again. Really. That's the definition of insanity. But practicing, like properly practicing, sitting down, like doing exercises, playing songs that you like, that gets you to improve. And it takes two things. It takes time and it takes effort. The former of which not a lot of people have, and the latter of which not a lot of people want to put forward, which is totally understandable. But the one thing I think that ties everything together, at least by my thought process, is passion. It all comes down to passion. I've mentioned passion 1.5 million times. But in truth, at least the way that I see it, passion is just that. It's the drive and the desire to want to do something with so much enthusiasm that you don't care how long it takes. You're going to do it anyway. And sadly, practice can erode that passion away, because you're forced into something that's like, I don't have to do the same thing over and over again. But once you push past that, it's fine. Trust me. I'll probably talk more about like my personal experiences with music during like on next Friday, because that's the guitar stream. That's gonna be quite a bit longer than this, I can tell you now. But it'll be fun, because I'll be able to do both stuff for the guitar stream, where it's gonna be, I have a set list prep for that too, but I do want to jam, and I'll probably have alerts active for that, because that's gonna be more of like a proper party. I'm not like setting out and performing or anything. But there's gonna be an after party for that one too. I'm gonna go into a bit of detail on like more on what March Music Mayhem has been like. There's that whole announcement thing, and after that is into April, so we'll go from there. But for now, I think it is a good idea for me to rest my voice after that. I'll probably look at all the technical details after I fix everything, but that's for tomorrow morning. It is roughly midnight for me now. So I think this is a good place to call it. Oh my god, I can feel my throat getting scratchy. Last time that happened, I actually don't remember. It might have been the 9-hour Minecraft stream, or I actually don't. Yeah, I know, I don't remember. Anyway, that was both fun and terrifying, but it ended up being really fun by the end, and I had a blast. Hopefully, I can get everything to stick around for posterity, but who knows? This is all a test. This is all a test. Anyway, thank you all so much for anyone who popped in at any time today. Doesn't matter if it was for a couple seconds, a couple minutes, or the entire time. I really appreciate being here. And with that, for anyone who showed up during stream, thank you so much for coming in. I'm always happy to chat. For anyone watching the VOD, good to see you as well. Hopefully there is a VOD for one, and hopefully it's not super scuffed, but I hope you enjoy regardless. I am going to be taking Sunday off, because yeah, I usually take Sundays off. I'm not gonna go crazy. I've already streamed 5 times this week, which is one more than I usually do. But next week, I can list them out right now, because I know exactly what they are. we are returning to Project Diva, this time with mods, which I feel like is going to be an absolute romp, and I'm really excited for that. On Wednesday is going to be Fuser, which if you don't know what Fuser is, excuse me, Fuser is a song remixing game. And depending on circumstance, I might get absolutely destroyed by DMCA, but who knows? I really want to have a good time with that one. And then on Friday is the Fabled Guitar stream, which I am personally a lot less nervous about, but my overconfidence will probably kill me. And being extra nervous for this one meant I really overprepared, and being not super nervous for the Friday stream means I'm probably going to underprepare, but that's my fault. And we'll get there when we get there. Anyway, I need to go rest. That's it for me. Thank you all so much for any time that you spent. I say again, but it's the truth. And I will see you on the flip side on Monday. Bye.